Hey there, and welcome to the Flourish and Health Podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I'm so glad that you are here. Welcome to 2025. Oh my goodness, it is so nice to be finally into the new year. The holidays are behind us, and we're stepping into the newness of the year. Now, today is actually, that I'm recording this, is actually my son's birthday. So I actually, on Monday, when this airs, will actually finally be over all of the holidays and celebrations and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to waking up tomorrow morning and having a little bit more of normalcy to come along. But I would not trade any of those moments at all over the last several months as we've been able to celebrate the holidays, and especially in the Christmas time, and bringing that celebration to the birth of Jesus. And so I hope that you had a good holiday, and if you weren't a fan of the holidays, those are over with, and we get to join back into the new and freshness of January. Well, I wanted to just have a little conversation with you today and just share a little bit of some things that are on my heart, and then also some things that are coming up, because it's the beginning of the year. So we want to share all of the good things that are coming. So I will probably look at my notes a little bit because I don't want to miss anything that I wanted to share today. But I wanted to make sure that I am just letting you know about all the things that I'm excited about for the year, and hopefully give you a little bit of direction of where I hope to go over the next year, or a couple months at least. And I'm going to continue to work things out, and I would love to have some guests on the podcast. And so I'm still working out all of those details, and but I'm excited to see a little bit of shift and change and direction. But for the most part, I will still be bringing you an episode every single week and doing my best to help you, understand that you are worthy and capable of living a full and flourishing life. Hi, and welcome to the Flourish and Health Podcast. My name is Stephanie Book, and I am so glad you are here. My hope is to help others see their life beyond where they currently are right now, move away from places where they feel stuck, and empower them to move into a flourishing life. Together, we will learn to recognize our true identity in Christ and apply a reframed mindset to combat the lies that we've been believing about ourselves. We will walk the journey of flourishing in our health, in mind, body, and our connection with God. I'm so excited to walk this journey with you as we create new habits of thinking and turn toward a life that is flourishing. Hey there, before we go into any farther in the episode, I wanted to make sure that you listened really well to the podcast today, because we're going to be sharing a lot of different opportunities for us to connect with each other, and some gifts that you'll be able to get for free. But for the most part is I want to talk about the Faith and Flourish Entrepreneur Toolkit. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit more on the podcast today, but I want to make sure that you know that that is a free gift for you. It is something that I spent a lot of hours working on, but I'm really excited about it. And I think it's good for someone. I have it listed as an entrepreneur's toolkit, but honestly, I think it would be a toolkit for anybody, really, whether you're in business or not. And so make sure you look in the show notes to grab that toolkit for free. And I will talk about it in the podcast as well, but this is important to me to share with you, that there is those resources that I have created for you that I think will help you along your journey. Okay, so as we're stepping into this new year, I know for some people, you're really excited about the new year, and other ones you're like, well, I don't really know if I'm ready to jump into another year. Or maybe you're ready for the new year, or maybe you don't like the beginning of the new year, because then there's maybe a buildup of things that you think you should be expecting yourself to do or perform. Or maybe you don't even have any goals. Maybe you don't even think that way anymore. I actually was listening to a live webinar on the 1st, and one of the women was talking about how the different kinds of goals that people create, and a lot of them centered around health and maybe financial goals and things like that. But really, honestly, when she added up all those numbers, there was a significant amount of area where people were not setting any goals at all. And that kind of made me sad. It made her sad too, to think that there's no direction. Not because I want you to set yourself up for failure, but because goals give us a little bit of direction. It gives us a focus on what to look at. But I think that we approach goals in such a different way that we set ourselves up for such high expectations, and then if we don't hit them, or if we just base them on motivation, or we don't set them up like the SMART goals that I talked about last week, we can find ourselves just stuck in the middle and overwhelmed, and then we just crash it all and just forget it. And so I think that's why a lot of times people don't even bother setting those goals, because they're setting resolutions. They're just wishes, right? That we kind of talked about last week. And so I really hope that this year you'll be able to grab hold of at least a few things that are very important to you and focus on them. Little bite sizes at a time, I think, is the best way to go. And so we're not overwhelmed with this big, huge picture with these big deadlines, but ones that really are just fitting to help us move that little millimeter every single day. And so I hope that this encourages you to say, hey, take it at your pace. There's no big, huge gesture that you need to do. Now, some of us are very goal oriented, and so we set really big goals and we have all the plans figured out. But some of you are not so structured, right? You're just lucky to get through. You feel like you're lucky to get through the day. So I'm hoping that over this year, I'll be able to give you some other tools to help you feel like you are making some progress, even if you're not a really tight goal maker or something like that. So why, what's the purpose of, So when we're talking about goals specifically, or talking about our purpose, why does that matter? Why does it matter to have a focus? Purpose is more than just a word. It's the anchor that keeps you grounded when life gets busy. Proverbs 19:21 says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." When we align our plans with God's purpose, we're setting ourselves up for success. We're wanting to be able to be flourishing. And so I hope that gives you a perspective of looking at, your purpose and our goals. If they're aligned with the purpose that we have in our lives, things just will come together more clearly for us. And if we're relying on the Lord as we step into those goals, He's going to carry us through. I think that He gives us those desires and dreams and purposes in front of us. And I think that those come from Him. And when we're in tune with Him, then He's going to guide us along the way. So, and I know that you might feel like you're stuck. You might feel like you're spinning and you're not really sure where to even start. I would say first, go back and listen to the SMART goals episode that I talked about last week, or just look for one thing, one area that you think you'd like to grow on, and just focus on that one area first. Don't feel like you have to have all the different things figured out. We have an entire year to do things that we want to do. And so maybe put them into little tiny segments and look at little millimeter steps that you can go along the way. Really seek the Lord and what is the purpose? What would you have for me to do today? And then go from there. Even if it's a step-by-step, day-by-day process, just make sure that you are seeking Him and you're putting yourself in some motion, giving yourself some sort of action that you can move toward. So one of the ways that will help you is my Faith and Flourish Entrepreneur Toolkit. And so I designed this because I know that we want to have our goals and our purposes aligned with each other. And so what better thing to do than have a bunch of things all in one place to help us with our mindset and our focus and where we want to create. One of my most favorite parts of the toolkit is the affirmation section. It's the first section. And I give you not only some affirmations that you can speak over yourself, but then I actually have a recording of me with some music behind it that you can listen to. You can kind of download that and listen to it each day. And then I also have some affirmation cards that you can print and download. There's actually a sheet that you can print, but I really love that. And affirmations has been something that is important. I've talked about them here before, and I think it's important to find ways that you can speak over the good things that you want for yourself. I think often we listen to so much of the negativity that goes on in our brains, that inner voice, the inner roommate, as Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson talks about, as I've heard him talk and teach about this, that inner roommate tells us all those negative things. It brings up those bad things, the things that we're not proud of, or the things that we feel like we're failing at. Those are always the things that our mind will bring up to us first. So we want to fill it up with good things, with ways of truth, things that are true. And maybe affirmations, sometimes they've gotten a bad rap because you're like, oh, well, we're speaking over things that are not true. And I think we need to foster them in the right way so that they're not just big, huge dreams. But at the same time, it's okay to kind of speak over what you want in your life. And so I hope that those affirmations will be helpful to you. So the free kit is absolutely free. And there's all other resources that are on there. And I talk about this just because I spent a lot of time working on it, but I also think it will help you, whether you are in business or you're just a mom that's trying to get by. I think the toolkit will help you. So make sure to check out the show notes to get that link, or message me if you're like, I don't even know how to do those show notes. Send me a message at steph.book on Instagram, or reply to this podcast, and please just reach out, because I'd love to get that toolkit into your hands to hopefully it will help you. Sometimes a lot of times you hear from the people that are already successful, and sometimes that can be overwhelming. I know for me, sometimes I can get in that comparison mode and think, well, honestly, who am I to teach about these different things? I don't have it all figured out. And it's so easy that inner roommate starts speaking. But honestly, there are so many different things that I have learned. And so that's why I share. That's why I created Toolkit. That's why I do this podcast every week, because there are things that I have learned. And if I can make it a little bit simpler for you, then that's why I share it with you, because I want to see you grow. I want to see you be able to move beyond those inner roommates, those negative thoughts that you're talking over yourself. Or maybe you're really excited to step in. You've been doing some personal growth, but you're not really sure where to go next. How do you implement your purpose now that you have a better mindset, or now that you have that confidence that the Lord has equipped you for more? What do you do next? And so I try to share on here, and I was not at this place many years ago before I stepped into my journey of learning a personal growth, all about mindset shifts and how to change my outlook on things. Lots of books that I've read, or trainings that I've gone to, and seminars and leadership things, and all those different areas that I have been able to go through. I am not the same person that I was almost 7 years ago when I started my health journey. That's crazy to me. A couple of weeks, it will be 7 years that I started my health program. But what I have grown in those last 7 years has been just mind-blowing. I didn't even know that those things could happen. So I'm telling you this, no matter how stuck you feel, you will be able to, as you take action, as you step into those things, even step into the fear or the scary things, you're going to see a change that will happen. It's just taking those baby steps and not huge leaps. Sometimes it takes a little bit of extra leap of faith to be able to step into that. But honestly, those little baby steps are going to move you forward. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. And so I think often when we are looking at the goals and things that we want to create in our lives, we think that we have to take this huge giant leap. And sometimes moving that millimeter, one little millimeter, it takes like 1 degree difference between a pot that is not boiling and one that is boiling. And so, to get to that point where you need to be, it might be just 1 degree higher, or 1 little millimeter step to move you towards the things you want to create. And so I hope that what I have learned and what I am teaching you will help you see that, we don't have to have perfection. We don't have to have arrived all there. We just need to take some action and move forward. So as we step into momentum of 2025, I will give you a few different things that I think will help you as you set into this new year and look for the things that you want to create in your life. And I'm sure that you won't be surprised by most of these, because they're things I've talked about on here before. But hey, repetition helps, right? Because sometimes it takes me a long time to understand and actually hear things sometimes to really actually implement it. I'm sure all of you have, if you have children, or you've been in a situation where you have told someone over and over and over again the same information, and it's like they don't see you. Somebody else mentions it, and then boom, it clicks, and all of a sudden they get it all, right? So sometimes we all need to hear different voices and things telling us these different things. So I would say, number one step is start with gratitude. Right? Gratitude is so important. As we step into our day, if we can find some things that we're grateful for, it can shift our perspective right away from the start of the day. We might have a lot of things that we're carrying, maybe a lot of disappointments maybe that we are carried over from 2024 that we didn't see happen in that year, and that we wanted to see. But if we could step in and be grateful for the things that we do have, that postures the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, the whole year into a different perspective. So what are those things that you can be grateful for? What are the things that you can control in your life that you are able to step toward and think about and be grateful for? The second thing is, we've already talked about this already, is break your big goals into small little goals, little actionable steps that you can do every day. and then give yourself some grace as you're going through them. One of the things that I have been learning, I actually stepped into like a new way of eating a little bit. I'm still a coach and I still follow through the plans with that, but I'm doing a little bit of tweaking, learning how to bring in some more protein and shifting the way that I'm eating a little bit. And so even today, I started today and I'm still learning, and I realized I made some mistakes already. And I could look at that and be like, oh, forget it. I messed up. I'm just going to start tomorrow. Or I could be like, okay, I learned from this. I definitely need to shift and change this perspective, or change these steps that I did, or maybe eat a different thing or change a little bit of different things. And that's okay. Guess what? I can still drink my water and I can still step on to the next step and do my best. And I can celebrate the different things. I can celebrate that I'm making some changes in my health. I can celebrate that I got a workout in this morning. I can celebrate that, that I'm still surviving, I'm still standing, and I'm doing well. So I think that having that perspective of grace as we step into these different things, as we are looking at the things we want to create, and looking at those little baby steps that we're taking along the way. And yes, I'm learning a whole new program where you're counting like macros and you're understanding how much fat and carbohydrates and protein and all these different things. That's a lot to learn. And so why do I expect myself to know all these things when somebody else is teaching me that they're farther ahead, right? But I'm one step ahead by taking some action and learning these different things. So look at the big things that you wanted to create and put them into bite-sized pieces and celebrate those wins as you go along the way. Don't expect perfection when you're first starting, okay? And the last one is just stay consistent. Be consistent with those goals. Like I said, when I messed up today, when I made a misstep, I don't want to say messed up, but when I made some choices that didn't work right, or maybe didn't follow into the plan, I don't give up. I just continue on. And guess what? Tomorrow is a new day and I can continue the journey. And eventually I will get it down. And I know whenever we learn something new, it always feels like a struggle, right? We go, especially you start a new job or you learn a new program or something, and then you're like so overwhelmed because there's all these different things and steps and rules that you need to learn. But eventually you're doing that without even thinking. Like, think about when you learned to drive a car, right? We weren't all perfect drivers right from the start. We had to have that process. We had to learn how to stop correctly and when to put the blinker on and how to turn a right turn versus a left turn, right? All of those different things, it's a process. And so give yourself some grace, but don't give up. Stay consistent. And as you do, those little baby millimeters will add up and you will see the progress that you want to create, okay? So one of the things that I'm really excited about is this mindset reset challenge that I'm going to start. It starts January 20th. And so I'd love to invite you to be part of that. We're going to have the whole week. It'll be a challenge, the 20th through the 25th. I will do a couple live teachings within the challenge, and we're going to have a chance to reset our mindset for 2025. And so a lot of these things will be things that I will teach you, the things that I have learned, and we'll get to grow together. So I will continue to give more details, but there is a registration and I would love for you to be part of that. So make sure you check the show notes and we will get you more information as that begins, but set your calendars for January 20th to start that mindset reset challenge. I'm excited to share some different things that I have learned that I think will help you, and it will go right along with the toolkit that I have and all the other things that we might set ourselves up for this year. So don't wait, make sure you sign up. And then I am so excited about this. This is something that's been, it was suggested to me to do it, and I kind of thought out about it a little bit, but I'm excited to say I'm going to do a live TV show every week. I'm going to call it Flourish TV because that's my word. I love the word flourish. And every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to do a quick live I'm going to do it on Facebook. I'll probably put it on YouTube as well when it's done. But I'm going to talk about all different areas of being an entrepreneur, being someone that is learning how to be healthy in their mindset and in their life. And so it's kind of flourish, right? Flourish and inspire. That is like my name, my brand name, or my business name. And I want to inspire you to live out your full and flourishing life. And we know, if you've listened to me at all, that's important to me. So we're going to be doing all different areas of flourishing in this TV show. So it will be starting January 14th. So give me another week and I will launch it on Tuesday, the 14th at 10:30 a.m. And we'll do different topics, business strategies, faith, we'll do mindset, health, and more. It will give you a chance to, listen to me teach live for just a little bit. You can ask some questions in the chat. We'll get to know each other a little bit more, and we can continue that conversation in the Flourish group and just really continue to grow together. And I'm hoping as this continues that you'll be able to have that on your calendar and know that I'm going to be sharing something every single week. I'm really excited. Was thinking a lot about that today and planning out some of the topics. And so I'm excited to share all of that with you. So check out the Flourish TV on January 14th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'd love to have you join me. Okay, so to recap, we've talked a lot about things that I am doing this year. And I wanted to do that because, well, one, I'm excited about the things that I'm sharing, the things that I've been preparing for you, but also because there's a lot of things that are on my heart that I've been wanting to share and wanting to teach. And so I thought, why not? I think so often we step into our fear. I know that that's me. I always get so afraid that I'm going to do things or I'll look dumb if I'm doing it, or maybe nobody's going to listen. But you know what? If it even helps one person, that makes me happy, because I remember being in a place where I wanted to learn things and I wanted guidance, I wanted direction. And so hopefully I can give you a little bit of insight about some of the things that I've learned. And so I hope that over this next year, we'll really be able to get to know each other better, and I'll be able to step in and be part of your life a little bit more and be there to help you with the things that maybe are on your heart to learn. And so as we continue on and we work together, we'll be able to know different ways that maybe that I can serve you better too. So this will be really fun. So don't forget to make sure that you get that Entrepreneurs Toolkit, the Faith and Flourish Entrepreneurs Toolkit, and you'll get that's in the show notes. And definitely, or message me on @steph.book on Instagram, or send me a message on Facebook, or respond to this. It's really easy to get to me. All of my information is always below, but you'll be able to get that in your hands. And if you have any questions about it, just message me and I would love to get that to you. Set your calendars for January 14th at 10:30 a.m. when we have our first airing of the Flourish TV. And then also the Reset Mindset Challenge that begins January 20th. I'm so excited for this. So check out the registration below and make sure that you get on the list. And once things get going, I will have more information to get you ready, and I'll have a workbook and everything ready so that you can work on your mindset as we step into 2025. My friends, I thank you so much for listening today. I hope that you got some value today, even though I was sharing about all these things that I'm excited about, because I want to see us grow and that you are worthy and capable of doing amazing things. God has positioned you to do the things that are on your heart. And so I want to equip you and help you move that direction. I thank you so much for listening. Please pass this on to anybody that you think it would help, and invite them along our journey with us. Say, hey, this toolkit is awesome. Come check it out. Or, hey, my friend Stephanie is going to start this Flourish TV on Tuesdays. You should see it. Or join me on this reset challenge. Let's work together. Get a buddy system. How fun would that be? I'm so excited to spend this time with you over this next year and look at the amazing things that we get to create together. I so appreciate you. You have an amazing day. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me as we walk towards this life of flourishing. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and would love, love, love for you to take a moment to subscribe to my podcast and maybe even leave a review. Likes and reviews like yours will allow my podcast to be seen by others and hopefully help them as they walk through their own journey of growth. So until next time, please remember that you are amazing, my friend, and you are meant to live a life full and flourishing. Take care.